If you had a friend who was in a toxic relationship and they came to you telling you how controlling, manipulative their partner is, and they need help, they want to leave, like what would you do? Like, what would you even say to them? Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for stopping by today. I hope you all are having a wonderful morning or a good evening and you're ready to unwind, relax, and just listen to Monica go off about the Jehovah's Witnesses. So, today I want to talk about this phrase that the Jehovah's Witnesses love: make the truth your own. I want to talk a little bit about that. And then I want to talk about I make the truth my own. And then lastly, close off the video with just talking about the importance of having self awareness when you are starting the process of leaving, in the process of leaving, or even after you've left the Jehovah's Witnesses or any high control religion. So let's start with making the truth your own. This is a phrase the Jehovah's Witnesses love so much. Like every week, they're going to drill this into your head: make the truth your own. And obviously, this is just a scheme or a pawn, if I can call it that, to basically have you believe that this is really the truth. Like everything they're teaching you is from your own understanding. It's what you also believe in, it's what you agree with. And this basically has people feeling like, yes, I'm not being told what to believe, but this is my own choice. This is what I am choosing to believe. And obviously, we know that is not the case. You can't really make the truth your own. And for those that do not know, the Jehovah's Witnesses basically just call their belief system the truth to just make them stand out from all other religions and have them seem like, okay, this religion is the one true religion. When they keep reiterating to people to make the truth their own, basically what they're saying is just keep studying more and more, harder and harder in terms of what we're teaching you guys. Like everything we're teaching you guys, you need to really take in and instill and utilize in your day-to-day life. That's how you make the truth your own. But in reflection and just looking back, that is obviously not the truth and not the case. Because moving on to me, I never made the truth my own. I realized that when you are born into the Jehovah's Witness organization and when you come in, so when you come into the religion at a later stage in your life, so I was born into the religion. My parents became witnesses when I was still an infant. And comparing me to someone who is maybe like 18 or 20 or 25, 35, whatever age, you coming in later on and becoming a Jehovah's Witness, I feel like our experiences are actually not the same. When I watch these Jehovah's Witness videos, I'm not gonna lie, like there's some amazing channels out there and they really go into detail about the doctrines that were wrong or misinterpreted. I mean, Bible verses that were misinterpreted, and then doctrines that, are misleading, or based off of false understanding of the Bible. Like, I really admire those people who do all of that research and they put together a beautiful video that's very informative and just you leave it feeling like, oh my gosh, I now know what the truth is. I, on the other hand, I can't make those type of videos. I really struggle with them because that's not why I became a Jehovah's Witness. I wasn't lured in through Bible verses or someone explaining something to me and me thinking, oh my gosh, that is just so profound. I never had that. I was just born into this religion. And I realized that I've just been coasting along, going with the flow with my parents, and of course, wanting to appease them, hence me becoming baptized, me being more active in the religion. It was never out of my own accord and me wanting to just be a devoted Christian. In all honesty, like I've struggled with the concept of God back then, and I still struggle with it right now. I struggle with the concept of being a Christian. I definitely know right now I am not a Christian. So I've come to the realization that this religion definitely wasn't for me because I never had to make that decision. And now, for people who have chosen to come into the religion, you are actually the ones who need the Bible verses that were misinterpreted for you to see those and see, like, oh my gosh, these people lied to me about this Bible verse. You're the ones who need to see that, wow, these doctrines are actually false. Because They made you a promise in a sense and they didn't live up to it. Whereas people like me who were born into the religion, we didn't even have a choice. Like literally you just opened your eyes and you're a Jehovah's Witness and you can't celebrate birthdays, you can't eat cake at school, you can't date whoever it is that you want to date, you're dealing with all of those rules. And of course, if you're born into it, it is a bit easier to assimilate, but it's still hard because there's only so many Jehovah's Witnesses, and you still have to go to school. You still have to have friends who are like your neighbors or whatever the case may be. So you're still interacting with the outside world. So it's hard to just 100% assimilate. For me, making the truth my own was just never possible. It wasn't my own. And I've realized that a lot of people might be dealing with this, especially people who were born into the religion or maybe became witnesses from a young age, where you're struggling with the concept of this religion, but it's not just on a technical level, basically breaking things down and seeing if the rules were right or wrong, those type of stuff. I'm talking about maybe from a moral perspective, a values perspective, the perspective of I'm not that person anymore. Like I've changed right now in my life. And what I can say to that is self awareness is very important. You need to be aware as to why you became a Jehovah's Witness and why it is that you want to leave. When I wanted to leave, I wasn't happy. I wasn't happy, and I'd come to the realization that I wasn't happy in this religion for the longest time, if ever. I never felt good after coming back from field service. I was tired and I felt like I just wasted my day. I never enjoyed talking to strangers about God. Like, honestly, I don't care about your faith, how you feel about God. I feel like, honestly, religion should be treated like a relationship. It should be such a personal thing. And it should be a give and take situation. You give, they take, they give, you take, and it's just too personal. So I've never had an interest to talk about God to someone. So it was hard for me to be in such a religion. And now that I've left, I realized that I needed facts like the Royal Commission. I needed to find out these millionaires who are governing body members. I need to see that these people are against human rights. These people are not for climate change. Like I need those type of ideologies that do not align with my values for me to comfortably leave this religion, because I don't care. I didn't care about Bible verses. I still don't care about Bible verses because I never internalized them. I never took the time to learn the Bible. I never took the time to genuinely know it on a personal level. I just knew it in terms of this and this Bible verse can help you answer why the world is the way it is right now. And this type of Bible verse can help you with whatever question someone might have. So that's how I learned the Bible. I never made the truth my own. And to be honest, I don't care to make it my own right now. And I'm not saying the truth, but I'm talking about religion and all of that. Where I am in my life right now, I feel like I'm in a space of just experiencing life and just going through life. And I feel like it's going to figure itself out along the way. And I'm not trying to force anything. But for those who did join the religion later on in life and you made the decision to come in, it's very important that everything that they used to convince you to come in, you need to break everything down so that you can leave. So if you came in when you were going through a certain traumatic experience in your life, it's very important that you heal from it so that you're able to leave and they can't lure you back through it. If they convince you that no, we'll live on a paradise earth and you'll see your loved ones again, you need to heal from that concept of I might not have paradise, but what am I going to have next? You need to come to terms with, am I going to move on to a new faith or am I going to figure it out myself alone? Once you have that figured out, it's much more easier to leave. It's easier to leave in terms of they can't lure you back in. And even in terms of just convincing you and having things make sense, I feel like it's very important to watch these videos that really break down what it is that the Jehovah's Witnesses have lied about. And it's very important that you read publications for yourself as well. And you don't have to read their own publications. There's lots of publications on the internet that you can read, studies that have been conducted, tons and tons of resources out there. But what I want to leave you guys is the importance of just being self aware. It's so important that you know who you are and what it is that you want out of life, because that is going to help you so much when you're in the outside world and you're encountering challenges, because it is very hard to leave the Jehovah's Witness and then go out into the big bad world, because you are going to be dealing with a lot of challenges while carrying this traumatic experience of being a Jehovah's Witness. Like, it literally influences all spheres of your life. I have quit my job right now, and I realized that I struggle with a 9 to 5 because my just perspective when it comes to authority is just so screwed, is just so defensive, and just like, if you're not a good leader, I can't even be in your space. Like, I literally can't even be in your space because of we had to deal with so many incompetent leaders who were elders. Like, now my tolerance is super low. It is super, super low. And I'm trying to just figure that out for myself as to how do I, just move in this new world? How do I find myself again? Because when you leave the Jehovah's Witness organization and you were born into it, you also realize that the person that you are today is heavily influenced by how you were raised. So, who are you then apart from being a Jehovah's Witness, apart from your religious faith? Like, who are you? What type of music do you actually like? What type of content do you like consuming? What type of clothing do you like to wear? All of these things you're going to discover. The dating world and raising children, interacting with your family, it's all going to be different once you leave. So, just knowing who you are is very important, and being honest with yourself is also very important, and giving yourself time and grace to just process everything and then move on into the world is important. Oh, there's so much that I'm going through right now, and I want to talk to it right now, but it's quite hard for me because, yeah, like, we also don't talk enough about encountering Jehovah's Witnesses once you've left. Like, you can be as self-aware as you want, you can be so over this religion, and then all it takes is for you to just walk somewhere and you see their cart and you're just annoyed for the rest of the day. Or in my situation, my father right now is sick, and I'll make a video later on just to explain to you guys what is actually going on and what it is that I'm going through right now. But he is sick, and every time I go home, there's like, not every time, but most of the time, I encounter Jehovah's Witnesses there who are there to see him. And I left the religion, but I didn't like write a whole letter explaining as to why I left. I just didn't come back. So people don't interact with me the same way anymore. Like, they give me looks, and then the energy is different. It's weird because normally when they haven't seen someone in a long time, they get super excited. But then again, my friend got married in December, and I attended her wedding with my partner, who at the time did not look like a Jehovah's Witness at all. His hair and all of the other stuff that made him stick out. So I know that the Jehovah's Witnesses gossip a lot, and people have already spoken about me and my partner, and they've seen us, blah, blah, blah. So I'm guessing that explains the weird energy, but it's still difficult. Like, we need to talk about how difficult it is to still have to interact with these people after we've left. Like, it's actually painful, and it causes so much anxiety, and it just rehashes a lot of things. And it's not just as easy as saying, oh, just ignore them. Like, this was a big chunk of my life, and it's hard to just ignore it. But I'm trying to just deal with it day by day, and luckily, like, it's not a big issue. Like, I don't see them a lot, but the religion still has a lot of influences, or a few footprints it has left in my life. And I'm really dedicating this year to dealing with all of that and just facing it head on. and be more honest with myself, being more open, and also just showing myself grace and understanding. Because leaving a high control religion is very hard. Like, it's very hard. 5, 10, 15 years later, like, it's very hard. So, making a concerted effort to make content that is not just so heavily focused on the biblical aspects of being a Jehovah's Witness and leaving, but I want to focus more on just the mental stuff as well, the emotional stuff, because that's what I need. People like me who were born into the religion and decide to leave later on in life, if you didn't make the truth your own, then it's not you discounting the truth that will help you get it through, but I think it's you finding what matters to you, what your values are, and what you want your life to be about. I think those are the important things that can help you leave this religion and deal with all of the after effects of leaving. So I'm hoping my channel will provide that. I want to talk more about, the emotional and mental aspect of leaving the Jehovah's Witness, and how we can also just assimilate and, you know, be part of society and just live life. Honestly, just live life, and at some point even forget about this experience. Yeah, that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching and just stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this content. I love you all. See you in the next one.